All right, so this is just a quick review of kind of conjugating those reflexive verbs. Those are the ones that have say on the end of them, right? And we usually use those to talk about la rutina. And so we're going to look at three examples. All right, so remember the first thing we do, so we have levantarse up here. All right, so kind of the steps that we want to follow is we have the say, and what we want to do is we want to take that say and we want to move to the front. All right, so if we look at for yo, oh, sorry. Right, let me go back. So if we look at yo, the say is moved to the front and it's turned into me because I'm doing this to myself, right? So say is moving to the front, turning into me, right? So if we kind of look at the steps, right now I've taken the say off, I've moved it to the front, I've made it agree with yo, which is going to be me. So I'm left with me levantar. Once we do this, we're back to an AR verb, right? So just a basic AR verb that we've worked with in Spanish 1, right? We've reviewed in Spanish 2. So now I should be pretty comfortable, right? So I have an AR verb. I have yo as my subject. So now our next step is to get rid of the AR and put on the O, right? To make it me levanto. Now, if I have the subject of él or ella, right, again, I'm going to follow the same steps, right? The say is going to come off, it's going to move to the front. It just happens that we don't have to change it for él or ella, it stays say. All right, so that's pretty nice. So that I've completed step 1, take the say off the back, move it in front. I'm still left with an infinitive, levantar. I'm going to remove the AR, and because of él, I'm going to put an A back on my verb to make it se levanta. All right. Ella, same thing. Se comes off the end, moves to the front of the verb, take off the AR, and it has the same ending as él because they're both third person. So we end up with se levanta. Let's look at two more. Vestirse. So here we have an IR verb. All right. Again, follow the same steps. Se comes off the verb, moves to the front. For yo, it turns into me. I'm left with an IR infinitive, so vestir. And I go to my notes on conjugating vestir, and IR comes off, and we put the O at the end. Right. And remember, we have that little spelling change in there to make it visto versus vesto. Right. Follow the same steps for ER, IR, or sorry, for él and ella. The say is going to come off the back of the verb, move to the front. All right, so we get se vestir. All right, now I'm going to deal with that verb ending, kind of make it look like a normal verb for us, right? So then I move over. I still have my say. IR comes off because of él. I put an E back on, so now I end up with se viste. Same thing with ella. Say is coming off the back of the verb, moving to the front. I'm left with vestir, which is an IR verb. Conjugate my IR verb for ella, and I end up with se viste. Right, so we'll just keep following the same steps. Doesn't matter which type of verb we have, follow the same steps. So we'll get one more. Right. Again, I have ponerse, right? So I take the se off, put it in the front, it turns into me. I'm left with me poner, and then I have to put the poner in the yo form, right? Which we know is me pongo. This is one of the irregulars that we have to memorize. All right, so now I get me pongo, right? Second example, again, él, se comes off the back of the verb, goes to the front. I'm left with se poner. Now I need to conjugate poner in the él form, and we take off the ER and replace it with an E. So se pone. Same thing with ella. Se is coming from the back of the verb to the front of the verb. All right, I'm left with se poner, so I have an ER verb now that I can see. We're familiar with those. And then I remove the ER, put the E back on, and end up with se pone.